adjust this fucking camera. There we go. Okay. A lot of people have very unrealistic expectations of how fast they should be building muscle and getting stronger in the gym. A lot of people also expect that they will keep making progress at the same rate as they did when they first started training. And I used to be one of these people. Why the fuck is my hair so fluffy today? Like everyone, when I first started training, I was making progress really fast. I was getting the beginner gains. I was making progress, every single workout, and I was going up in both reps and weight, and I was going up in a lot of weight and a lot of reps every single workout. And this continued for probably about, close to 6 months. Then after that, it started to slow down. And I knew the concept of beginner gains. I knew what it was, but I still didn't like the fact that it slowed down as much as it did. I started going from, making progress every single workout to making progress every other workout. And then from every other workout to every third workout. And then every fourth workout. And then it kind of stopped. And what I thought was the cause of this was that I wasn't training enough and I wasn't training hard enough. And so what I did was I started implementing drop sets and rest pause sets, and I switched from, a push-pull legs to an upper-lower split so I could train, my entire body more often and all this stuff. And the only thing that did was, honestly, it made me go backwards. It made me lose strength. It made me lose muscle. And when I looked into it more, and I learned that the problem wasn't probably that I was training too little and I needed to train more, or that I wasn't training hard enough. The problem was that I was training too much, because at the stage of, my training career that I was in, I should not be hitting any plateaus quite yet. I'd only been training for about, 6 to 8 months. And so what I did was I took a so-called deload. And I came back after that deload and I noticed I was stronger. And then it clicked. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't training too little. I was just having a slowdown in progress, which is normal. And I thought that I was doing something wrong. And so I thought that this slowdown in progress wasn't normal. And so I increased my training frequency and my training volume, and I started overtraining, and instead I went backwards. And so if I'd just done nothing, my progress would have just slowed down a little bit, but it would have kept going. But my dumbass, who didn't understand that this was normal, thought that I was doing something wrong. Another mistake that I want to mention that I made when this slowdown in progress started to occur was that I started switching up my exercises a lot. And the reason for doing this was because when I switched up my exercises, I noticed that my strength on those new exercises would go up very quickly, similar to what they did in the beginning when I trained. And so I thought that I was, when I switched up my exercises, I was building muscle really quickly again. But this is not the case, and this was not the case, and still isn't the case for anyone. And I have made a complete separate video on this topic, which you probably can click the card here that will probably pop up and you can watch it. Otherwise, you can just look it up on my channel. I think it's called Why You Do Not Want to Switch Up Your Exercises When You Hit a Plateau. And there I talk about why you do not want to do this and why it's a mistake, and a bunch of other stuff that's related to that. As I learned more about exercise and just building muscle in general, I realized that this slowdown in progress wasn't actually anything bad and that it was completely normal. And I also do believe that this unrealistic expectation that I had about how fast I should have been making progress stemmed from, surprise, surprise, social media. Because, we go on any kind of social media, like Instagram, especially Instagram, and well, pretty much any social media, you see all of these clips and posts of people showing off these amazing transformations that they had, and they say that they had them in 3 months or 6 months or a year or something like that, and they go from small and skinny, or fat and not a lot of muscle, to just being absolutely huge and jacked. And a lot of these transformations, like most of us probably understand, is they're faked, or they didn't take as short of a time as they say they did, or they use steroids to achieve that transformation, or it's just not entirely true. And even though most of us probably understand this, it still affects our expectations subconsciously. And so I do think that my unrealistic expectations did stem from looking at too much fitness social media and looking at all of these posts of people showing these amazing transformations. But like I said, as I learned more, I just had to click my computer. I got the script over here, and so I'm reading a little bit every now and then just to remind myself what I'm gonna talk about. But like I said, as I learned more, I realized that this decrease in progress wasn't anything that was, negative. It was just a normal thing which happens to everyone, and I didn't necessarily need to change anything. But now to the question which a lot of you probably are asking yourself, which is, how often can I expect to make progress when I go from, beginner to intermediate to advanced and so on and so forth? Well, in general, I would say that most people in the first 3 to 6 months of the training career, where you will be getting the majority of your noob gains or beginner gains, you can expect to be making progress on a workout to workout basis. After that, and by the way, this will vary between individuals, like everything in fitness, it varies in between individuals. Some people are on one end of the spectrum where they make a lot of progress really, really quickly and they have great muscle building genetics. And some people are on the other side of the spectrum where they start training and they make a little bit of progress and then it starts to slow down almost immediately, and then they almost make no progress because they just have terrible muscle building genetics. And you can't really do anything about your genetics. So if you're that person, I'm sorry, but you just kind of gotta deal with it. But most people watching this video, and just most people in general, will have average genetics because it is the average. And so most average people can expect to be making, workout to workout basis progress in the first, 3 to 6 months of the training career. And then over time, and like I said, this depends on the individual, but it will start to slow down. So it might go from, every workout to every other workout to, every third workout. And, the speed of your progress will kind of go like this. And it will start to plan out up here. Plan out, what the fuck? What I meant to say was your progress will go really quickly in the beginning, and so the curve kind of goes like this. Fast, 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 and it slows down pretty drastically, pretty quickly. And as you get closer to your genetic limit, your progress will start to slow down more and more. But if you find yourself in a situation where you are keeping your sleep in check, you are keeping your diet in check, you are getting adequate protein, you're getting enough sleep, you're not overly stressed, and you're still not making any noticeable or significant progress, and decreasing your volume doesn't seem to help, and decreasing your frequency and giving yourself more rest in between your workouts doesn't seem to help, then the chances that you're probably really, really close to your genetic limit. And in that situation, there isn't really much more you can do to gain a significant amount of muscle naturally. Now, of course, you will still keep gaining some muscle when you're very close to your genetic limit. You will only stop gaining muscle when you reach your genetic limit. And so if you're really close, you will still build a little bit of muscle, but it will probably be such a small amount and so slow that you won't, barely even notice it. And for some people, it might take, if they're very close to your genetic limit, it might take several years to put on the last 5 pounds or whatever. And some people, don't even reach their genetic limit because they're not they're just not, you know, taking their training, well, I don't want to say taking their training seriously enough, but they're not, well, yeah, that probably is the right way to say it. They're not training seriously enough to be able to reach their genetic limit. And some people, you know, have such a high genetic limit that they get so big that they don't even want to get any bigger. And so they just start training maintenance because they don't want to gain any more muscle. But yeah, a lot of people will probably reach the genetic limit, and when you get to that point, you won't be able to build any more muscle. And so in that case, you don't just stop training, because I get it, it is like, it's not as fun because you're not getting any muscle anymore. And of course, you know, you could hop on like PEDs and gain more muscle, but I wouldn't recommend that unless you want to be a professional bodybuilder. But otherwise, I would not recommend PEDs to anyone. But yeah, I mean, when you get to that point, you keep training, not because you want to keep gaining more muscle, even if you can, but because you want to stay healthy and you want to keep all the gains that you've spent so much time building. And so, yeah, that's the video for today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, don't forget to click the like, subscribe, and subscribe, and that notification bell so you can be notified the next time I upload. And with that being said, I hope everyone has been having an amazing day, and I will see you boys in the next video next time.